Parenting is not easy. I can say this from experience. Having 3 kids, Stephen Fox, Patricia Fox, and Charles Fox, I had to leave them, though I didn't want to. I left their dad 3 times, and it was a total of 11 months, though in court he said that I was gone for 2.5 years. If you really look at it, I was actually pregnant for that time. And one of those children is of rape. I was court ordered to pay child support after declaring I was unfit to do so. Visitation was granted, and then it was denied by their dad. I left having to leave the kids. The feelings of desertion, of being a bad parent, of having to deny my kids, it killed me. When the courts ordered the kids to be taken and put into a separate home, they were actually put in with a family member, and then their dad was called in. This really broke me. The day that they were taken away, I broke down, and my mother remembers it to this day. When I broke down saying they're taking away the kids and giving them back to their abuser. I shook uncontrollably for 3.5 to 4 hours, and it took me a long time to find out what that shaking actually did, what the stressor actually created. And after talking a great deal with counselors, psychiatrists, and my doctors, it finally dawned on me, those 3 hours of shaking, all of the stress that was dealt with in that led to what we know as fibromyalgia syndrome. It started out with deep fatigue. I couldn't get up, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. I was very struggling to function. Then it led to pain. Nobody could touch me. Nobody could hold me, even though I wanted so desperately to be held, even though I so desperately wanted to get hugs. I couldn't get any of it because it hurt too bad to be touched. Then it started to subside as I found medication that would stop the pain from being so great. Then it led to being able to barely function with a little bit of pain. Now, I can honestly say that the pains were so great physically that what it did was it manifested, the pains and the suffering manifested into what we know as chronic pain. It started out with chronic fatigue syndrome, and all of it actually turned into what we know as fibromyalgia. To be honest with you, I don't have regrets, except that I wished I had done things much differently at the very beginning. I am not regretting too much because of the fact that now I am taking what I have learned and I'm going to be sharing it in the new year to help others who are parenting so that they might avoid the pitfalls that I found, that they might find the challenges that I dealt with and overcome them, and even walk away from very toxic relationships so that they don't get into the situation that I was in. So I just wanted to share with you my big surprise is that my biggest secret is that I am a mother of 3, and I am ostracized from more than just the kids. The family has even ostracized me because of all of the situation at hand. nobody really knows the truth because they're not willing to listen. So I may go through a little bit of a video statement of exactly step by step what it was. I was labeled very quickly at that time to have mental health issues that I later was found to not have. In fact, now I am declared to have PTSD from it. In fact, not only PTSD from that, I have what's called CPTSD, or compound post-traumatic stress disorder, and it starts based on that. And it became a snowball effect. Part of the trauma that came from that was dealing with the abuse, dealing with the neglect, and dealing with what I had a feeling was going on for my kids, but I couldn't do anything about it. There were a lot of lies and a lot of deception going on, and I am now able to give clarity publicly so that others might be able to avoid those pitfalls and avoid hurting themselves and their children. So that's my fibromyalgia story in a nutshell.